This is Run the Numbers. My name is Jason. You're watching a video part of the warm-up series here on the Run the Numbers channel. This video is also part of a 100 videos challenge. We're trying to do 100 videos in 100 days. It's going to get a whole lot of content out there that can help you on your personal finance journey. And we're on the go. We're in motion. What's supposed to be sunny skies, but turns out to be more cloudy and even probably gonna rain a little bit here in Los Angeles. But that's okay. We're gonna keep moving because we have a good topic today. We're gonna talk a little bit about side hustles, and specifically, we're gonna take a counter view, a counterpoint to my most previous video, which discussed the merits of side hustles. And through that video, I'll put the link in the description to that video. The video there discussed a lot of the advantages, a lot of the reasons why it is a good idea to get a side hustle. So yeah, we're balancing that with just a few ideas here that relate to some of the downsides, the dangers of a side hustle. And I'll try to keep it brief, and let's jump right in and just get to really the crux of it is that, yes, you are taking on yet another body of work, another set of tasks, another set of things to organize, another set of expenses, possibly. Just all these things need to kind of be thought through very carefully. So let's talk a little bit about kind of what that translates into. So having yet more work to do and more set of tasks, that means that it's going to occupy your time and attention. That very well could result in your time and attention that you otherwise would dedicate to your primary, you could say your day job, your 9 to 5, if you will, if that's your current way to do things. That might then suffer, or it could, in theory, if you're doing something that is in a side hustle that is not additive to the skills you're doing in your primary job, or otherwise it's not something that builds your primary job. Yeah, then your side hustle is possibly going to detract from it. You could then argue, hey, it's not a zero-sum game. It doesn't necessarily mean you're pulling. It could be a way to be additive. It all just depends. So I don't want to say guaranteed you're going to suffer in your primary job, but there is the potential you could. Or you otherwise could have done better in your primary job, for your day job. So that needs to be thought through. What that truly means. Are you prepared for that as a possible result? And if you're not, there could be some definite serious repercussions. So yeah, definitely something to think through there in terms of just how it affects your day job. Let's also think through some of the things I mentioned about, yes, it also could mean additional expenses. So if you're doing a side hustle, that does require some initial capital, some funding in some form to get started, and especially if this side hustle takes quite a little bit of time, or even just indefinitely is a situation that is not bringing in additional income. It's a zero revenue driver endeavor. Then yeah, you got to figure out, can you truly afford this financially? Yeah, you're taking away time and attention, and you're putting money elsewhere. Now, this money could have been money you could have invested, you could have, grown it as it compounds, all these different things. So you got to understand, what's kind of the opportunity cost as for what you're doing. So the other thing I'll mention with about your time and attention and sort of the resources that you're you're expending as you put through with this side hustle is that yeah, you're possibly going to be spreading yourself out too thin. You might reach points of exhaustion, and you might be wondering then at the end of the day, if something needs to go just so that you can have some just means to, live a life that's something, for you to just kind of keep above water. Yeah, you might then start to think, well, okay, the side hustle is great for various reasons. Again, check out the video for all the advantages. I'll put that link in the description. Again, I don't want to diminish all the things there, but if you're thinking like all that is just simply not worth it, or maybe even those things are worth it, but just not worth it right now, not at the given timing. There's some things situated with things on the calendar that, yeah, you just simply need to wait to do this side hustle 6 months from now. You need to wait for some various steps later on in the process for you to truly, dive in a bit. So there's that whole element to it of just not the right timing of it. So you don't want to reach that exhaustion. So there is a danger of just spreading yourself out too thin. Yeah, it leads to some, catastrophic event of sorts. Definitely don't want that to happen. Let's also mention, with the time, the attention, the possible resources, maybe the thing to go, maybe you're able to do all this work, but the thing to go is simply less leisure. And yeah, you might reach the point of exhaustion. Sure, that's a possibility, but also just a kind of a step down from that extreme point of exhaustion, and things just simply tip over. Maybe it's just that you might in other areas of your life have this element of degrading. So it could be in the form of, it's on you to make various home repairs. That's the responsibility you have in your household. You have, of course, maybe you're a parent, and of course then you have parental duties. You're a teammate to various community groups you're a part of, whatever it is. There's a whole lot of reasons why you could just have responsibilities, and then those responsibilities, because of your side hustle, in theory, if you're not able to balance it all very well, these are some of the downsides, there's dangers here, it could be that those things start to lack. Now, that could be okay. You could be wanting to, not need to do some of the things in, say, I mentioned the community group. Maybe it's that you're a regular in a volunteer group doing community service, that sort of thing. And you're like, okay, I like that work, it's fulfilling, but, I need to prioritize, and just for some time being, I'm going to step away from that, and I'm going to put something else, I'm putting something else ahead of it in the queue, if you will. So that might be the decision you make. So this is to say, you'll have something of an area of, reprioritizing different things, and you got to figure out, if you're degrading activities, what truly that means. Because, in no way do you ever want to then be, worse off, of course, in your marriage, as a parent, any of the very serious things, you want to make sure those things in no way are harmed. You want to, of course, bring everything you have to those very serious and important things. So just be careful, that the side hustle, doesn't have any negatives in those areas. Okay, so I've listed off a whole lot of things to sort of be careful, be wary. This is just because there's so much content out there that's always like, yeah, go put in more hours, go do the side hustle. There's always more hours in the day. Don't sit on the couch and watch TV all those hours you put. Instead, split these hours and I give you, there's all these arguments, and they're all fine. They have merit. And it's about what you're doing instead. So yeah, if it's about sitting on the couch, just watching TV and pure leisure, and that you're fine for, not gaining that benefit of that kind of leisure, instead you're gaining all the advantages of your side hustle, you know, that's those are the trade-offs I'm wanting you to think through a little bit more. But if it's also some dangerous trade-offs, other things are degrading, other things are forcing you to get to exhaustion. Your primary job, your primary work is suffering, or otherwise, you know, you're getting into danger zones, and there, you know, all these things you really should think through. So yeah, I want to give something of a counterbalance to so much content out there that's always pushing you to work on that side hustle, but just work on that side hustle with a way that you've thought it through. All right, I'm gonna leave you there. I know there's plenty more to say. I'm gonna hopefully dovetail this larger sort of introduction to just side hustles and the larger, you could think 30,000 foot perspective about side hustles, the merits and advantages versus the dangers and disadvantages. I want to maybe then jump into a whole host of other videos I have planned where I talk through some specific side hustles. I share some previous side hustles I've done, some side hustles I'm currently doing, some that maybe I ruled out and why. So there's a whole lot of content. So this is just the start. If you're like, no, you've exhausted this, please don't do any more side hustle content, please leave a comment. Let me know that you're ready for other things. You're like, get back to telling me what credit card is great. Tell me about what savings account is offering some really fantastic yield for the savings account. Tell me all those things. Yeah, okay, I can jump back to that content. Let me know that this is what you prefer. Okay, but otherwise, my plan, if I don't hear it, I'm gonna stick to this plan of putting more content out related to side hustles, trying to get more things thought through and specific examples put for you to have you possibly benefit, and maybe you'd like to try out some of the things that I'll introduce. Okay, I'll leave you there.